as, I can have a conversation with my wife and we can agree and maybe, come to some kind of compromise in understanding. But to be absolute, it doesn't matter what her opinion is, and that it's kind of being a bully, and I don't do that in my house. Now, as we're one flesh and we go back to this know how to control his own body in holiness, if I lust, not only do I sin, I also dishonor my wife. So I'm showing her honor when I don't sin. In that arena especially. And let's face it, guys, if you're anything like me, and I've learned over the last 2 decades of interacting with men in several different arenas, we're not that different. We're all pretty much the same. We're all gifted differently to speak Christianese, and we're all, we all have different talents or wear different masks, but, we're all pretty much the same. We're wired the same deep down inside. Now, I was going to talk about the differences. I don't think I'm going to go into that. It's not my right to go into telling you how you're different than your wife. You figure it out. How do you figure it out? Talk to her. Sit down and ask her. Yeah, you know what? There's a good thing. Sit down and ask your wife how you're doing as a husband. That's a great conversation. Now, you should probably pray really hard for patience and to not be wounded if she comes back with a bad report. If she comes back with a bad report, that's a great thing. You have an opportunity to do a course correction. And it's very important that you're not arrogant and thinking you have everything under control, because a course correction, we all need to course correct. And if you don't have the ability to be humble and listen to your wife tell you you're doing not such a good job, you should probably gotten a dog instead of getting married, and been around some wise men to learn how to be a husband. Now, after showing her honor, this is something. This part of the verse, it says to the woman, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, and this part sparks some interesting conversations with me and my bride. I don't understand completely God's description here, what He means by weaker vessel. It's God's description of a woman, which I tend to gloss over, and I gloss over it because He's telling me what to do, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the context of what she is as a weaker vessel. I've been told to live with her in honor, to live with her in an understanding way, and show her honor. But I do need to understand why. Does He mean physically? Is the woman the weaker vessel physically? I mean, is it emotionally? Is it logically? I got to tell you, I think in a very linear path. I'm very black and white. I like things to make sense. A square peg goes in a square hole. A round peg goes in a round hole. And sometimes I would believe that my wife thinks a square peg goes on the wall on the hook. Those two things they make no sense, but they make sense to her. Let's go back to living with my wife in an understanding manner. May not necessarily make sense to me, but it makes sense to her. Now, not understanding it doesn't stop me from doing it, but it does give me, it gives me a nail to hang my hat on, something I know I need to work on. This is something that God has commanded. He's told me that she's different, so I should probably try and pursue why, or what that means exactly more than why. Now, as we're told to live with our wives, or live with the woman as the weaker vessel, it goes on to say, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life. Now, the grace of life, back in chapter 1 of 1 Peter, is really described very well. He opens the letter between verses 3 and 4. It says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to His great mercy, He has caused us to be born again, to live a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you." So we are both equal heirs. We're both vessels, and we have we're equal heirs to the grace of life. So all of that wraps up. This is why I need to do. But the last part is something that I really hang on to, and it says, so that your prayers may not be hindered. And let's think about that for a couple minutes. I don't want my prayers to be hindered, because you know what? On my own, I'm a horrible person. I'd like to think I have good moral qualities, but my good moral qualities compared to Jesus Christ are garbage. My thoughts are not always pure. I have to go to prayer often to ask forgiveness. Now, I may not act out, but I'm still fallible. I'm still just a man. And that goes back to having a team of men, somebody to confess my sins to. I take my sins to my team and confess with them. Now, the reason I do that is so that we can bear each other's burdens, and we can pray with one another. Pray to be healed. Pray to be changed. I don't want my prayers to be heard. I want to be able to speak to my Father and have him not only hear me, but answer my prayers. God answers prayers. But there's definite rules. There's definite lists in the Bible of times that he will not answer prayer. You know, in 1 James, or James 1, excuse me, not 1 James, if I pray with doubt. In James 4, if I pray with the wrong motives. You know, obviously in 1 Peter 3, if I don't live with my wife in an understanding manner and treat her with honor. In Isaiah 58, you know, if I don't care for the hungry and clothe the naked, you know, he may not hear my prayers, or he will not hear my prayers. You know, 2 Chronicles 7, if my people will humble themselves and seek my face and turn away from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven. That's what I want. I want to have a relationship with my Father where I know he hears me. This is just one small section of that. I would encourage each of us as husbands, you know, because I need God to help me be a better husband, because I'm going to be in this relationship for my own selfish needs, you know, apart from God. And I don't want that. My wife doesn't deserve it. You know, in the 40 years that she walked on this planet before God dropped her on my lap, she had enough of people that were living with her for their own selfish needs. I have a commitment that no longer will she have to endure that from anybody. Anybody that have a selfish need and wants to be in a relationship with my wife, they've got to get past me. God trusted her to me. So, now that I've gotten up on my soapbox, I'm going to climb down. Talk about one more thing. I'd like to talk about the Tucson Food Pantry. The Tucson Food Pantry is over here on East Tucson at Crossroad Church, which is 1603 South East Side Loop, number 211, in Tucson, Arizona, 85710. Their phone number is 520-777-9629, and you can email them at info@tnfp.org. Now, Tucson Food Pantry has a passionate desire to train up teams of people to provide food and clothing to all neighborhoods in Tucson. You know, their vision is to continue to establish neighborhood food pantries in all of southern Arizona, providing not only food and toiletries, but eventually clothing, medical services, and housing as well. Now, I've seen the food pantry in action. I've been over to the church during their hours of operation. I don't have their hours of operation in front of me. To find out a list of needs or to find out their hours when they're operating, when they're open, if you need something, please go in, say hi to Pastor Kyle or whoever happens to be working at the desk, and tell them what you need. That website is www.tfnp.org. You know, we at Man Tucson, we have Man Tucson Outreach. We have a definite heart to reach our community. We've been feeding below poverty line individuals, our neighbors, out at Santa Rita Park since April of 2011. We've been in the business of serving our community since 2010, but we've served, just last year alone, we served over 4,200 meals to below poverty line, low income. Some people call them homeless. I don't really care for the word homeless. They have a home. If they believe in Jesus Christ, if they believe in God, they have a home. They just haven't gotten there yet. And it's my job, it's our job, to bring as much comfort to them as we can until they go home. You know, that's why I have such a heart for the Tucson Food Pantry. You can find out more about Man Tucson's outreach at www.mantucson.org/outreach. And if you've read enough, or if you know enough, or you just have a heart for outreach and want to help feed the homeless of Tucson, you can go to www.mantucson.org/giving and make a contribution online that will go towards feeding the homeless. Again, my name is Wayne Daly. I want to thank you for spending the last, 26 minutes with me, listening to me rant and rave and talk about biblical manhood. And hopefully we had a few laughs. Even if it was just my delivery, then you had some laughs. Listen, I encourage you to provide me with your feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. If I'm impossible to listen to, let me know. I want to work on this. I want to be able to be used as that vessel that delivers the Word of God with integrity and with assurance. But mostly, more importantly than anything else, I want to deliver it with love and understanding. I want to thank you for tuning in to Man Tucson Radio. I want to thank you for this 30 minutes that you've provided to me. I'm going to pray for you to have a blessed day. If you don't know Christ, get with somebody that does, and give them a chance. Just kick the tires, see if it works out for you. All right? Again, Wayne Daly, Man Tucson Radio. Good night to everybody, and have a pleasant evening.